Mr. President, I want to join all other senators that have spoken to congratulate our dear President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for selecting young Nigerians to also be part of his cabinet, especially the women and the youths. With regards to our brother Dr. Boston, congratulations. But Mr. President, I wish to advise this young man that there are times, no matter the level of our frustration, we must be cautious with what we write on the social media. I'm saying this because I have another tweet from him, which was written by him by 10:05 p.m. in April 21st, 2021. With the kind permission of Mr. President, I would like to read this tweet. He said, "Who conducted a security check on him when he was appointed? What sort of checks are done by at the Nigerian Senate when they confirm appointees and the media? Question for another day. Until we ask the right questions, these morons will continue to take us for granted." Mr. President, sir. Mr. President, I want to having come from my alma mater, I'm also from the University of Jos, and I've taught there in University of Jos for 15 years. I find it very difficult to believe that a graduate of University of Jos will write this on the personality of the Nigerian Senate. I want to ask, sir, are you the author of this tweet or not? Thank you.
Your Excellency, Senate President, and also distinguished senators. Distinguished senators. I was raised properly as a Yoruba boy, both in Agege and Abeokuta, so I do understand that we're not meant to disrespect our elders, and that's not the training that we're given. My father probably won't be proud of me for all these allegations. But one thing he'll be proud of as well is that the passion that led me to those mistakes has also given me the opportunity to contribute to the development of this country. So I want to profusely apologize to everyone in this hall, including anyone anywhere in Nigeria that may have been offended about everything I said. I ask that you please, in the process of accepting my apology, that you look at the undertone of everything I've said. I didn't say it to spite. I said it out of frustration and love. So please accept my sincere apologies, please.
Off the mic. Off the mic. Off the mic. Distinguished senators, distinguished colleagues, we have before us a young Nigerian distinguished leader of the Senate, that even if it was that your child that came before us here, that child will still face the same questions. The questions being asked are not, nobody, I don't think any of them has ever met him. And I don't think any person here has any objection to his nomination. And I don't think anybody here is against him. We are rather appreciative of Mr. President's choice. However, sometimes the past has a way of following us. And I think we can make progress. I will give you an example. The National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy 2020 to 2023 that involves ICT parks, entrepreneurship, innovators, youth empowerment, which will break it down to solid infrastructure, soft infrastructure, service infrastructure, all these policies. He was part of those who developed these policies that he believes can empower young people. When Mr. President was coming on board at Eagle Square, I said that I learned a lot from him when he was governor. I turned boys into men as a governor in my state, and that he will come, if he won the election to be president in Nigeria, that he will turn a lot of Nigerian boys into men. I think this is one of such. Now, if we sit here for the next 5 minutes, somebody will bring out another very derogatory tweet from him, whether it was done in the heat of anger or whether it was in collaboration with your child, I wouldn't know. But the major thing there is that he has a very good opportunity on live television to tender apologies to his elders for his youthful exuberance and his mistakes, and we move on. Dr. Tijani, Dr. Bozun Tijani, this last tweet and many others that will come, like the one you called your elders. Look at somebody like Senator Gumel. I'm sure he was in the Senate there when you said that he was a moron. So, do you still believe that senators are morons, or do you have an apology to make? If you can tender an apology, we can move on. And then if you also believe now,
at their age, give it 37 to 39 years, a young man is also standing before us today, in line with Mr. President's promise to young Nigerians that he will be part of my government. And he brought a young man. Look at his dressing, Mr. President, green and white. That is Nigerian. He came with Nigerian flag because of his passion for this country. Mr. President will not lie to you. Let me speak in pidgin English. Sometimes this country, they choke. They choke us. Mr. President, a few days ago, I was come back from Kenya on the assignment that this parliament sent me. When I landed at Addis Ababa International Airport, I saw Nigerians being hoarded by a corner, denied flight. I came out of the line, and I asked the immigration people there, why are you keeping these people without them boarding a plane? They told me I should go back to my line. I removed my diplomatic passport. I said, I'm a diplomat. I want to know why they are not boarding the flight. The moment they saw my international passport, red passport, they directed me to a seat, and I sat down there. What I'm saying, I'm on live television. Some Nigerians were in that flight, and they saw me when I left my queue. And I found out what they did. And I told them, give me back these Nigerians, let me take them to my country and hand them to immigration in my country. Most of them, Mr. President, they were treated in such a manner because they are using green passport. Sometimes, when young people tweet what they tweet and they express their frustration on social media, I want you to know that we are doing this out of the love that we have for this country. Not that we hate this country. We have nowhere to go. This is our country. This is an orphan, without a father, without a mother, without a godfather, recognized by the president for his work and presented to serve. Most of these young people who are leaving the country, Mr. President is telling them, come back. Don't be insulted was from America. Don't be insulted was from England. Come back to Nigeria, let's build this country together. And that's why Mr. President nominated him to come back home and not for this country. We commend Mr. President for the love that he has for youth, for women, and his vision for a new Nigeria. Colleagues, please, I beg you as a young person, when you see us sometimes to express passion, support us as your sons, as your daughters. Don't use our age against us. Use our age to see that we help this country. I beg colleagues, this boy is very intelligent. Take a bow and go, please.
Honestly,
Women into his cabinet. He kept his promise. Most of these women, if you look at their average age, 39 years.
this Senate has been very kind to you. In spite of all the noise you make in the Senate, we tolerate you because we recognize the youthfulness in you. I'm very proud of your speech today. The two Senator Solomon Adiola or Lami Lekon, this is your citizen. Say something and let him come forward and take leave of the Senate.
Very distinguished colleagues, I have a perspective to share with our distinguished colleagues. And I have a perspective to share with Nigerians, especially those among our youth who in the last 48 hours, since the name of Dr. Bosun Tijani was sent to this hallowed chamber as a ministerial nominee, our youth are divided on this matter. There are some who are supporting him. There are some who are also sharing other tweets from him similar to those that have been read out here. The truth about it is, beyond these two tweet messages, there are some other ones being shared online. And what is the underlying thing here? And what is the perspective that I want to share? Consider the dates of these tweets and recall the events that took place in Nigeria. Some of my own children and some of our own children were all part of these tweets. Standing before us, sir, is an end-SARS protester, if you can so classify him. That is the truth about it. My own daughter, who was not born in Nigeria, I didn't hide my family in the US. I didn't take my family out of Nigeria after I came into public service. I was in the US doing my master's degree. I was there practicing as an attorney when I gave birth to my own children. So they were not born here. But when my daughter was done schooling, she told me she wanted to come to Nigeria for her national service, and I was very glad. My daughter joined the end-SARS protests. Around the same time, all these tweets were going on. Very many of our own children asked us questions. Mr. President, I need your protection. All I'm trying to do is share a perspective. The same president, these are the issues for me. Number one, an end-SARS protester who believed he was a spokesperson for his own generation, today has come to see the need to join hands with us to build this nation and bring all those ideas around which they organize protests on board to further build Nigeria and rebrand Nigeria. That's number one. More importantly, number two, the same President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a citizen as he then was, not in any official position, who was accused or alleged as having taken soldiers to toll gate plaza in Lagos to shoot end-SARS protesters, is the one who today, by the grace of God, as President and Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria, has sent Dr. Bosun Tijani as a nominee to this chamber, because he also believes that they have something to offer. So let's look at it from all these perspectives and know that this man standing before us did what any of our children could have done. At that point, based on their own understanding of what's going on, he portrayed a scenario of how most of the people he was struggling to help were being arrested by the police because they had laptops in their bags, not because they were criminals. Let us remember what happened in this country. We need to move on with this generation. We need to put this behind us. So, of course, if he said anything that he shouldn't have said, he's here to apologize. That's not the problem. But let's take it beyond that and be less emotional about this issue. But we must protect the integrity of this institution. I agree, with our colleagues who are saying this. And our own youth must also learn from this, that even in the face of anger or protest, you must mind the language that you use. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Well, let me, just before I listen to any other
colleague, let me start by thanking Mr. President for identifying yet another talented Nigerian. Mr. President, let me commend the nominee for one thing. For the fact that he admitted that yes, that tweet emanated from him, and the intention surrounding that tweet was not in any way to disparage or destroy Nigeria as a country, but out of sheer frustration that he encountered in the Chinese embassy. The only area that I strongly believe he will have added to this is sharing his experience in the Chinese embassy with Nigerians, so that you will give us a platform for us as a government to call on the Chinese embassy to ask why Nigerians is being treated this way. Yes, sir. But for hiding that and tweeting out of sheer frustration is one area that I am not in support of. But Mr. President, distinguished colleague, Bosun Tijani standing before us, a Nigerian, an IT guru, somebody in his opening remarks has shown how technology can be used to improve our economy. An economist by academics, an IT guru by profession. Mr. President, distinguished colleague, you will quite agree with me that a country that is not fintech compliance at this time and age should know that he is yet to overcome many, many challenges that is confronting that nation. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, someone that Nigeria never believed can throw up somebody like Bosun Tijani, a 46-year-old Nigerian, 41-year-old Nigerian going 42, to be a minister of the Federal Republic, is doing it again. And that was how he started in Lagos. He discovered Bosun when Bosun was 42. He discovered me when I was less than 30. When you are 41, Asiwaju discovered you. He discovered me when I was less than 30 years. And today, I have kept the flag flying. Yes, sir. That is the generation that Asiwaju believes in. And these are the future of Nigeria. I want to plead with my colleague that irrespective of the shortcomings of Bosun Tijani, let's take it as useful exorbitant. And he's here before us to tell us that he has the solution. He has what it takes to contribute to the development of this country. And he has decided to leave his businesses and leave his connection in the IT world to come and add value to the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I want to plead with my colleague that don't let us throw away the baby and the water. The man has appealed before us, and he has accepted to the fact, and even go ahead, I don't know, he has apologized. Okay. Maybe in his submission. He has not even committed anything according to his submission. But out of his sheer frustration, he has explained. My dear colleague, I plead with you that to please, okay, I apologize on his behalf and say that we should allow Mr. Bosu Tijani, a born Ogun State indigene, to take a bow and go. Thank you, Mr. President.
Wait. Please.
Transportation security to our GDP. Many of the prosperous nations that we admire have been built on a strong foundation for innovation. We are a blessed nation with significant young population, which is a critical resource for harnessing the opportunities offered by technology and innovation. In support of Mr. President's stated goal of building a prosperous Nigeria for all, my commitment to His Excellency, Mr. President, to use the distinguished senators and to lead all Nigerians is to give my best with the same passion and conviction that I've demonstrated all my life to achieve the President's economic and prosperity agenda. I look forward to working with all stakeholders across government and the organized private sector to provide intentional support that empowers the growth of our young population so they can continue to contribute to the achievement of a prosperous, inclusive, peaceful society that we all desire. Thank you, distinguished senators, for your time today, and I look forward to working with you all to achieve our collective goals for our great nation, Nigeria. God bless His Excellency the President, and long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mr. President, distinguished colleague, Buhari Abdul Fattah, Dr. Bosun, congratulations. I have two questions for you. Number one, on the 29th of July 2019, you tweeted.
I'm going to ask that you please listen to everything I say as my dear son, because I will speak from my heart, and everything I've said today can be proven. I've spent the last 15 years of my life going up all across the world, looking for people to support young people so they can use technology to help lead this country forward. I've done this in so many ways, very loud and subtle. One of the most subtle things I've done is that since founding my company, we've opened now in 4 countries. And every time we get to the lobby of our office in this country, you will see an artwork there. And embedded in that artwork is the flag of Nigeria. Embedded in that artwork. If you go to the Kigali of the Rwanda State, you will find that. If you go to Nairobi, you will find it. If you go to Namibia, you will find it. Everywhere we go. In 2019, as a sequel to something I achieved in the logo, the business I do, which is to support young people to do businesses, requires that they raise money. And the ability to raise money relies on the ability to attract investors from the country. And I did everything possible to build a company that is fully domiciled in Nigeria. In the technology space, people have to domicile their business in Nigeria. I domiciled that business in Nigeria. In 2019, we decided to improve Nigeria's opportunity to be able to raise more money, that we need to be doing a tour of the whole world. But we didn't want to do it just as Nigeria, but as Africa. So I opened up a 15 slot. This whole trip was paid for by Google. Nothing came to my pocket. We gave about 8 slots to Nigerians. Because I have a second citizen, which is a British passport, I was in the UK, and I was trying to apply for my Chinese visa, because I did not need visa to every other country. I got to the embassy, and I was told that it would take me 2 days to get my Chinese visa. I was excited. And the gentleman said, "What do you do? Where's your pay slip?" I said, "I run my business." He says, "We have to see your bank account statement." I said, "I'm happy to provide it, but my business is fully domiciled in Nigeria." The moment I mentioned Nigeria, the gentleman said, "You have to do a special check on me." And it was going to take minimum 2 weeks. In anger, I treated what you read, which was paraphrased wrongly. One, I've also been given a taste of what young people have been doing to all of you as well. I do not do this because of my pocket. I'm standing here with you today because people know me for the work I've done, not because of my father or mother, because they're good things. I do not have political connections. I am extremely passionate about Nigeria. What it takes from our sugar bar to say I'm going to Africa for the first time, and before meeting anybody, it was me he came to, was a lot of due diligence on my passion and interest. What it took for the founder of Twitter to come and meet me as a leader when I wasn't recommended was my passion and interest. And just a couple of weeks ago, when Mr. President was inaugurated, the Obi was in Nigeria to speak to the young people about the hope and opportunity that exists in this country. I was the one who hosted it. It was nationally televised. And it gave a lot of hope for our young people. I am not what is being represented online. I might have said things out of passion and support for young people. On this matter, lastly, because I support a lot of young people, we give them opportunity to come to Yaba to learn software development, to build businesses of their own. So I used to spend almost 30-40% of my time going to look for ways to build young people out of police stations because they were found with laptops in their bags. Not because there was any evidence to show that these people are fraudulent. He was out of his anger and frustration. How can I be trying my best to uplift my country and I'm spending my energy doing things that are impossible? Lastly, I've worked with a lot of people locally as well, just to find so many resources out of the city. I've worked with a very rich person here who's created a fund that is backing people in Nigeria and across Africa to do that business. I do not have stake in all these businesses. These are businesses that I truly believe will uplift the country, and that's why I do it. So Senator Brian, please, I urge you that give me the opportunity to show you the entire suite that's been passed on to you. That is not me. In explaining, I'm absolutely sorry for everything I've said. I'm sorry.
Distinguished senators, we are all fathers, except for Senator Jimmy Kuta, who is not yet married. We are all fathers, and our children do err. We cannot throw the baby with the bad water away. We recognize his intellect. We recognize his contribution. We thank Mr. President for being a forgiving father despite all these tweets. And I think on behalf of the Senate, I want to accept your apology and keep up the good work of creating opportunities for young people to grow so that they will not have the kind of anger that led you to make all those tweets. Your apologies are accepted. Congratulations on your nomination. You may now step forward, take a bow, and leave.
Point of order, Mr. President. No, not on this matter. Not on this matter. Not on this matter. Point of order. Yeah?